We are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Back with my main man, Wes, Onyx Coin Ambassador. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? You tired today? You've been road tripping, eh?
Yeah, I was doing some traveling, seeing family out of state, and we got back very, very late and then went to work. So I haven't slept. So I'm a little bit squirrely upstairs today, a little bit overtired, but all is good. I'm alive, healthy, and blessed. So no complaints. Good to have you. You have me back on the channel, Rob. I appreciate it as always. So
Hey,
yeah, we got
week,
the markets, man. Oh, we got another all-time high with Bitcoin.
yeah.
And yet another week, another all-time high, and alts seem like they're consolidating nice while Bitcoin does its thing, and hopefully gearing up for a catch-up phase to Bitcoin.
Yeah, like I was saying to you there, I think that we're gonna have a nice pump through this week, and then we're gonna have like between 110, 115K, and then we'll probably have a bit of a correction in Bitcoin while the alts try to catch up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that 115, it's between 113 and 115 is like a main fib level for that wave extension. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go there. And at this point, I would say that if it goes every couple of days and we reach another 1,000 or two over the previous all-time high, yeah, that would take us pretty much to the end of the month before we get to that 115 area. So I think that's more likely. After that, I would expect to see some sort of correction. And Bitcoin take a little bit of a breath, some sort of retest of an area and build some market structure. But yeah, it's a great time to have the market be doing this, especially in December. We're waiting for the other half of the promise that every bull cycle brings, which is, Ethereum starts going and then the altcoins start going. So, my eyes are on XCN, eyes are on the chart, and then some of the other, coins that tend to move early on as indicators that we're going to go through some sort of cycle with alts rallying.
Well, yeah, for me that's what I'll be paying attention to is after Bitcoin has its run here this week. Mm-hmm. I think that like I said, we're going to see alts start to melt upwards again, similar to how they were before. And then what'll happen is alts will start to set new support levels as we go here. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. The next leg up on some of these. So
yeah, it's certainly probable, absolutely, and that's what I hope to happen. So yeah, we what do we got? 246, 20246 on XCM. We're holding up pretty well. We haven't retraced as much nearly during this cool down of the alts as other coins have. It's nice to see us hang just a couple percent or a few percent behind the green.
That's the thing is this time around, I want to see Onyx Coin. I want to see XCN start to make its move too. We need to we did here. Obviously, this was a good move.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then we've had our correction, and now what we're doing here is we're setting that higher low here, or this support level. But so the next leg up, I'm hoping. I mean, we got to break through this golden pocket here, and let's set another higher low here. I would like to see them Onyx Coin make a move like Swift did, where it went from like 2.028 to like 1 cent one. I would love to see Onyx Coin make that move next.
Yeah, if we could have a move to the upside, and I do expect some retracement, but I mean, if we could hold the 00300 area as a solid support, that would be a really good start. I was kind of surprised that we wicked up to that 0.00400 mark on that run. That was a nice little surprise. I didn't see it going that high on a wick. I just wouldn't have guessed it. But it would be nice in the next move up if we can come back wherever we fall, wherever we wick up to, and then consolidate above that 0.00300 support. I think that'd be incredibly bullish for us. We do have some other stuff coming up in the pipeline, just to let you know. I'm not sure. A lot of this is you can read in the news telegram, but we do have the OIP for the nodes going live. They announced that it's going to be 47 days, which is kind of new to me. I haven't seen them do a countdown to an OIP launch before. But in 47 days, that will be going to vote, and there will be some additional details released along the way leading up to that. You can run a node right now. So all the information is on GitHub, what you need to do. They don't really explain how to do it because they kind of think if to do it effectively, you need to already have the technical knowledge on doing it. So it's kind of like, if you don't understand it, then it's probably not for you. But everything there is available. The incentives have not been released yet about that. That will all be detailed formally in the OIP, and I'm sure there'll be hints and little snippets about the rewards and incentives along the way.
Now, can you just use like an older laptop or something like that to run your nodes, or desktop, or what?
I believe you could just use a desktop. You just got to make sure you have enough processing speed and everything for it, and the computer's got to run quite a bit. I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. I will not be doing it just because I don't have. I don't believe that I have the technical know-how to do something like that. But yeah, as I learn more about it, I'll be happy to share it. But from what research I've done on the concepts, a good desktop would be required. And it would involve pretty regular and constant use of it. It would have to be constantly on.
So where would we go to get a link to connect our laptops to this to register our computers to operate a node? Do you know where that would be yet? Or
they said that everything there, if you want to run it, is in the GitHub. So I know on the GitHub there's a lot of information from the different developers of the past, people that have worked on it. There's information about how to do X, Y, and Z on there pertaining to it. So everything should be there for those that are kind of know what they're looking for. That's what was communicated to me. And there wasn't a lot of other detail involved in it because I had requested it. And, so at least I was surprised when they said, well, when I said, when is this going to go live? When can you do it? They're like, well, you could do it now. I was like, well, okay. Well, could you tell me more about it? And they're like, well, it's here. Everything you need for it is here. But, it's kind of, I got based on their wording, it was pretty much communicated to me that there's it's only going to be people that know how to do it already. There's going to be what they're forecasting to be 20 available spots for it. People to run, nodes with incentives. So that's that's coming up.
So hold on a second. So 20 people can operate nodes with incentives, but then other people can operate nodes, period, right? There's only 20 spots for incentives.
I don't believe. I think there's going to be a cap on the amount of nodes that will be ran. Okay. I think it's at 20, and I believe everyone who runs a node will be incentivized through that program. I don't know if it goes off of now what you're doing, or if it's a blanket award, or if it's similar to the ambassador program where you get a minimum of such. But if you're going X, Y, and Z over the minimum, or you're doing something higher than other people, if you get a higher ratio reward. I don't know much about it, but that typically seems to be how they operate. With the more you do, the more you get.
Okay, so would you be able to do me a favor? Could you ask them for all of the prevalent information needed to do that? Because if somehow I can get this information, I can figure it out for myself, because I would like to put a video together, a tutorial video together on how to operate a node on Onyx Coin. Now, is there any kind of future where this is going to open up to more people, or
potentially? But I do know that it is communicated to us that it is people that are staking on the DAO, on the protocol. It's people that are actively involved in the DAO. So you're not, they're going to know who's doing it. It's not just going to be, you go and do it without them knowing or approving it. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a selection process.
I mean, why wouldn't you anyway, right? I mean, you get APR in staking, and you get to operate a node. I mean, that's two sources of passive income right there.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. And if you're an ambassador too, I mean, it's 3. So you have options to earn on it for sure, which is really nice, even on a fixed asset. But when you have an asset that is variable and potential of price, I mean, you could really win you can win all four ways. You could be an ambassador earning cash per month. You could be running the node, gaining the monetary incentive there. You could be staking, earning the extra coins at no extra, out of pocket to you. And then you can gain on the asset just increasing in market value from doing what it does on an open market. So, I mean, you have the potential. If you play the cards right and you're really involved, there's very high earning potential. I mean, with really no out-of-pocket expense other than your initial investment.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Rodney asks a question here.
You want to explain that to him? I don't know how to.
Well, the simplest way to explain it, Rodney, is think about it like mining. You're contributing to the network, and you're getting paid back in Onyx coin, right? So think about it like mining and contributing to the Onyx coin network. Think about it that way. Simpler way to look at it, right? There are minute differences between operating a node and mining, but essentially the concept is the same if you're kind of new to it. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of validation. So like on the protocol, when you have DeFi, that the blocks need to be validated, especially coming from different points. So if you'll have a bunch of different people running these nodes validating these blocks, and then you have like the federation of it finalizing pretty much the validation of the nodes. So it's almost like a multiple check. It's like a consistency mechanism to validate the all the parameters and the information put in by all these individuals.
Yep. Rodney also asks, when I stake my XCN, do I have anything to claim gas fees, or it's just automatically, right?
Yeah, so the gas fees are just reimbursed automatically to the wallet that you're staking from. You won't have to do anything. It's the first weekend of every new month that you'll be reimbursed the gas fees that you spent on the last month. I will say, Rodney, just know that it does not cover the gas fees that you spend for unstaking. It only covers for the voting. It covers for your initial staking or additional staking, and it covers for claiming rewards. But if you unstake from the protocol and say, hey, I'm done here, they're not going to pay you for that.
Yeah, you don't get rewarded for that. Just any source of contributing, you get your gas fee back, right?
So we did have news also that funds have been secured for the ambassador program for another 12 months in advance, which is really nice. And I'm not sure if I shared this last time. It's also been secured funding for the public community program through Zeely for another 12 months as well. We have gone through roughly $10,000 out of the $100,000 gas allotment budget. So there's still plenty of money left to refund these gas fees. Let's just say it's been now, this is a month and a half in. So let's just say, for argument's sake, 1 month, if we have 90%, you have at this rate, you have another 9 months of at the same rate of gas fees being refunded. So that's incredible. And I do expect, if we continue through this bull cycle and Onyx does, blast through some of these resistances and make some waves in the DeFi space, make some waves in the top gainers, potentially on certain days or weeks or whatever, that those gas fees will be used up quicker, as the time goes on. And that's what we want to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good thing though.
Yeah, we don't want this gas stuff to last too long, because that means, it's not really doing what it's meant to do. It's meant to boost involvement and activity on the system. So those were good things to know, that at least it's sustainable. And I do appreciate their fiscal responsibility with the amount of money they budget and how they want to think long term. It's not just a quick fizzle and burnout type thing. They have in their minds, this has got to last us, which tells you that they take the project seriously and they have the intention on the project being around a while, as opposed to a lot of other, things that just burn bright, burn fast, and fizzle out, and we don't want that.
Yeah, 100%. H. Barbarina says, thanks for bringing the Alpha, Wes.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you.
Rodney says, hey, Wes, I staked Onyx, made 93,000 XCN so far. Just
nice.
To claim, I just hit claim button.
Yeah, so you're going to hit the claim button, and then it's going to prompt you with the screen. pretty much the same screen that you had when you initially staked will be open again, where it's going to ask you, it's going to tell you what the fee is to claim this. It'll tell you what the gas fee is. And then you would, make sure you have the ETH in your wallet to cover that, and it'll deduct it, and your stake will go automatic to your wallet. It will not add to your staked amount automatically. It'll just go back to the wallet. So then when you go back to stake, you click stake button, and then if you click max, the amount that you rewarded should be open and optional for you to, again, restake it. So it is actually two separate transactions that use gas. I haven't done much of the restaking department as of late. I can't imagine that the gas fees are too crazy right now. How do you know how they've been, Rob?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't heard any complaints, put it that way, and we usually do. So I say that just to make sure that, if you are staking and claiming your rewards, make sure, that it makes sense for you. I wouldn't spend $6 to claim, $7 in rewards. A lot of us, the guys that hold a lot of, XCN on the protocol, we generally would claim rewards every 100,000. That seems
that sounds like a nice round number.
Yeah, that seems to be the number that we all kind of agree on. And you can tell too when you view people's stuff on the protocol too. You can tell how much they're staking, and you can tell how much they currently have in their reward bank. So I don't typically see it go north of 100,000 without a person claiming and compounding it.
Yeah. John says, I'm down to learn how to run a node. Yes, absolutely, man.
There you go.
What do we got? Oh, dumb money question for Wes.
So, Wes, what exactly do you mean about Zeely? Zeely is the platform that they're using. It's an online platform, and it tends to be, my understanding is it is a platform to foster community engagement and task designation. And so basically, if you're an employer or in a group and you're trying to get participants on board and activated, you would put certain tasks on there. They would complete the task, you submit it, and then you rewarded XP points to show that you've completed the task. And that's how they measure the activity between, in our case, the ambassadors, so there'll be a ranked leaderboard on that. And the tasks that they're using for, both ambassador and public are basically social media marketing skill tasks. Do a tweet and make sure you use X, Y, and Z tag in there. Do a TikTok video. Do go on CoinMarketCap and write something in the community section. Go do a YouTube how-to video, tutorial video. There's tons of different things. There's What's Cooking, which is like a freestyle one, basically, that you can submit about your own, publicity on there. There's, all different types that they constantly are changing too, which is nice. Certain people, are spread across many different social media platforms, so they're able to accrue a lot of XP and spend a lot of time on it. Other people, they tend to have their flavor or two of social media outreach they prefer. And, you get whatever points there. But, aside from the points and the ranking, you're helping your community too, and you're helping the project. I don't care if you complete one task on there. I mean, it's better than doing nothing, and you're putting it out there more than it would be if you didn't. So, you're not just focusing on, hey, well, I'm not going to do it if I don't qualify to win, a reward. I mean, granted, the reward is $50 for the top 20. It's enough to move the needle for people, but really you're doing it to get more than $50 out of your investment through the adoption of your investment and the spread of awareness of the asset. So
yeah, think about it like engagement on your investment. You want more and more people to be aware of it, more and more people to kind of take an interest and join the community, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it in that sense, then everybody's rewarded, so, and that's really what needs to happen. That's kind of why I started even going on here before there was even an ambassador program. It was just me doing my part to help my investment, if more people take on that kind of look into it, it's going to do even better and better. But we did have tremendous participation in the public platform. So I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. And I would think that if they like what they see, potentially there's room for growth even in the reward sector of that. Maybe they'll reward the top 40 or maybe the top 20, $100 or whatever. But you give these guys a reason and show them that it's working, I'm sure they'll adjust.
100%. Look at that weekly close on Bitcoin. The daily and weekly, man. What do you think about that? 105.
Jesus. Yeah, and I think it closed the monthly too above 100, I believe.
Yeah. Highest close for the monthly, weekly, and daily.
Yeah.
46 days till the OIP to vote on Onyx Core? Question mark.
Yeah. Yep, 46 days. They announced the countdown for it. So when that does go live, you will see it's shared in the Telegram channel from the news channel. So it'll be shared in the Onyx news official channel, and then generally one of the admins will copy the link into the Telegram so everybody sees it. And at that point, you'll go on the protocol, and as long as you're staked before or at the time of the OIP launch, then you're able to vote. If you don't have anything staked in there, you will have a 0 vote weight. So it's important that the more you stake, the more your vote counts.
Believe me, I will make a video as soon as it goes live, and I'll make sure that everybody knows they can go vote and stuff. Every time there's a vote, I cover it.
Yep. Yeah, it's exciting, man. I like when they have the interaction with the voting.
Yeah, there's another one for you. Can you read that?
I have not used the swap feature on the DAO. I have only used the staking and the claiming of the staking rewards and unstaking. I have not used the swap feature on there. I would digress and defer to somebody else, potentially another ambassador that has participated in that when it was more active. I will find that out about it. I would guess the fees are. Well, you mean like the slippage fees? I'm confused if what he means, like, the fees. I know when you swap, there's generally like a slippage.
Yeah, the Ethereum fee, it's going to be an Ethereum fee otherwise, right? No different than
the Ethereum fee. I would think would be the same, a very comparable number as to any other gas fuel transaction on the protocol. In terms of the amount of slippage, maybe switching between the assets, I'm not really sure of that particularly. But generally, swap it. Okay, yes, slippage. Generally, it does tell you, before you swap what the slippage is. You'll know what the slippage is. So you'll find that out prior to making the swap. So
you can probably set that. You can probably set that the same way you can on Uniswap, right?
I'm pretty sure. I haven't done a lot with that.
On Uniswap, you can set the slippage to decrease the transaction failure probability, right? So
yeah, I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's much because once again, when it was live, I didn't participate in it when all the markets were live prior to the shutting down of all the markets. But I didn't hear anything about it. But I also can tell you that it wasn't used much. I will tell you for full transparency, it wasn't an actively used swap by any stretch of the means.
I'm hoping that they do make it more active. I mean, I do plan on monkeying around with it a little bit in the bear market. Mm-hmm. I'll probably horse around with it a little bit, and
Yeah, I think that's the time to do the learning curve and to get behind it. When the storm is quiet and after the dust settles, I think we'll have a lot of time between this bull run and the next one to really brush up on whatever we're lacking.
Yeah, no kidding.
Rodney, I totally understand. I spend every day of my life in these chats and talking to these guys, and I'm an ambassador, and I still get quite confused with things. So, trust me, bro. I'm a locksmith, man. I'm not a computer scientist, so I get it.
Yeah, Crypto Goddess. Been waiting to get into a node. I definitely want an XCN node. Yes, me too.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are got the know-how behind it and have the means to run it, and you got to be staking, you got to be a DAO participant. But by all means, man, whoever's able to do it, get your money, be a part of it, get your money.
John earned 120,000 XEN rewards this week. Nice.
Very nice.
That's how babies are made, buddy.
Yep. Yep.
What else do we got?
And what's interesting is you made 120 today. So 120 today is whatever it is in dollars. But 2 months from now, that this particular week could have gone from making you 1,000 up to 10,000.
Yeah. Will XEN have an app or wallet?
No plans of that have been announced as of yet. I don't know anything about that or any intention on that being the case. We have a DApp. It's through the website, but we don't have anything through like a Play Store or an Apple Store or anything like that.
So maybe yes, maybe no. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, these things can take whole different directions. We've seen it with how many projects.
Does the price on gas fee change through? Yeah, it depends on how congested the Ethereum network is, right?
Yep, 100%. It tends to be the cheapest on weekends, and at least in the U.S., I don't know where you're from, Rodney, but here on the East Coast, I noticed that it tends to be the cheapest in the middle of the night or really early in the morning. So I generally try to do anything that's going to be with gas fees on a weekend in the morning here. You just got to look at, try to do it different times, and without doing the transaction, look what they're going to charge you and learn your area and learn what time of the evening, the day or the week, or whatever tends to be the cheapest for you. But generally they always say weekends are the cheaper time to do it.
Did you end up asking or mentioning what we talked about last time? Remember I told you to tell them to for announcements or for anything, answers and stuff like that, to tell you and I would reiterate it live for them, so they don't have to,
Yeah, for like the AMA, you mean, or for announcements in general?
Just announcements in general. Like we can kind of go through things and clarify, because a lot of it's very dry for a lot of people, right? And they don't even understand what they're reading. Like they'll try to read the white paper and they're like, "What the am I reading?" Or they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this." Like a lot of times, that's why I do videos covering the proposals, because most people read them and they're like, "I don't know what the hell this means," so I gotta break it down for them, right?
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but I will. I slipped my mind. I do recall us having that conversation. I know that we definitely talked about if they were to do an AMA, which I am going to request, that we end up telling them about, potentially giving us answers and us going through it instead of just a dry, text-based AMA.
Yeah, tell them to just accumulate whatever 10, 15 of the most asked questions, right, that they get, and they can type out answers, give them to you and I, and we'll read them verbatim how they want them read, right? Like,
I mean, I don't understand why they would object to that. I mean, they themselves aren't willing to do that, and that's fine. That's their prerogative, But if you do have somebody with a live face and that's willing to have a bi-directional conversation about it, it's not just like a basically FAQ, page on a website or something. That's basically how it comes through. I think it'd be good for the community. I think it would spice things up, and it definitely make it a more dynamic conversation and a dynamic experience for them.
Yeah, it helps the less tech savvy, technical community members be able to ask questions and follow up questions and to have a better understanding. That way, they can actually get the full impact of how bullish a project actually is, right?
Even if you and I ourselves potentially don't understand it to its fullest capacity, we can sit there and talk about it in real time, like, thinking like, well, what do you think they mean by that, blah, blah, blah. And just, through a conversation, maybe, be able to figure it out, or have somebody that's watching jump in and explain something. It takes a village, man.
Yeah.
So they have had that. That was with the open markets where it was a peer-to-peer lending. So there was supplying and there was borrowing, and through different exploits that were found by basically black hat hackers. The protocol had been exploited one too many times, and we decided to kind of pull the plug on it and bring about Onyx Core, which would be eliminating all these issues. I do not know the details still of what Onyx Core will look like in its entirety, but I do not know if there will be the quote unquote loan protocol in the same capacity as what was offered in the past. But I mean, it is a DeFi project. So, when it comes to money, you're either supplying it or you're borrowing. And I'm sure there's going to be some sort of borrowing, on the project. I can't imagine what it would be used for in DeFi if you couldn't borrow money or use it for that.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I got, I that's all I got on it. I mean, I know that you said you only had about a half hour, and we've hit that half hour mark. So.
I love talking to you guys, man. I'm like desperately tired, bro. I really am. I'm surprised I was able to put in as many words together as I have.
Once you gain momentum, you can just mumble on.
Exactly. Don't get married if you don't want to travel far to see your in-laws.
Mine lives in my basement, so
there you go. You don't have to travel far, bro. I wouldn't mind mine living with me. It's the traveling to go see everybody that kills me. No one's really close. But hey, thank you for having me on. And at least we got some sort of news in the news channel this week about a countdown. It's something to look forward to. Something to count the days down. I know the Telegram channel has been very, very active, and I will say I do feel encouraged, Rob, to see the price consolidate and still be above, 240. I think that's kind of surprised me, because I think we've been used to seeing it go up and then back down to that 0.001, 0.0011 range. So it's nice that it's actually holding there, and it's holding there for quite a while. So I would be expecting hopefully another move to the upside soon, guys. So be encouraged. You got plenty of other options to make some extra money now, regardless of how the market moves with either farming or staking. And I'll see you guys next week.
All right, buddy. Thanks again, man.
All right. Yes, take care, guys. Have a great night.
All right, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, you guys are stuck with me. We're gonna cover some more. Stuff. We're gonna get into the JASMY chart a little bit. Figured I'd stick around for a little while, guys. All right. So what do we got over on the JASMY chart? Looks like we're having a little bit of a break to the downside here on the symmetrical triangle. Hopefully it doesn't continue that way. Maybe if we kind of adjust it, we're still kind of inside of here. I guess it still kind of makes sense there, right? So we're waiting for a break here to the upside on the symmetrical triangle, guys. The break is coming, in my opinion. Before you know it, we're going to be sitting around 10, 11 cents, and then a little bit of a correction, probably down to around that 9-cent area, 8-9 cents, where we're going to start to consolidate again. And then people are going to get used to it being at that price, and they're going to be like, oh, another leg up, man, right? But we'll always remember the good old days where we were scooping up JASMY at at 205, 206, man. We've been running it ever since then. So we got the golden cross right here, guys. It's about to play out probably 2 or 3 more days. Now, listen, this is usually a lagging indicator, okay, which means that this usually happens. The cross will usually come just after the initial move of the of whether it's a golden cross or a death cross. In this case, it's a golden cross. So I do think we're going to have a break to the upside very, very soon here, which is going to end up having the golden cross play out. I still think this is going to be a very, very green week, guys. It's only Monday, so we have a long way to go for the weekly close. If we look over at Bitcoin, looking good, looking juicy, guys. 106,422 right now. Absolutely amazing. We're sitting here looking at a price of 106,424 Bitcoin, man. Absolutely fantastic. Now let's go look across the crypto bubbles, see what's going on out there. Some DCA opportunities are abound, guys. Not too bad. Take advantage of these prices while you can, guys, no matter what it is that you're looking to get into. Turbo still pulling back, but still sitting at over a penny. Fantastic. You got some good DCA opportunities, guys. I hope you guys are taking advantage, because these prices are not going to last much longer. Anytime now, we're going to start seeing bigger breaks to the upside. Let's see what we have for coverage in the markets. What do we got? Liquidation alert, guys. $2.14 billion worth of Bitcoin shorts will get liquidated if Bitcoin hits $111,111. Short squeeze incoming, baby. Absolutely amazing there. Hopefully that plays out. Now, guys, we got a pretty big story that you're going to need to be aware of, right? So FTX to begin initial distribution of $12 billion worth of stable coins in Q1 of 2025. Now, what does that mean? That means there's going to be, now they're not giving this money back to creditors, like retail creditors, in the form of Bitcoin or something like that. Like in Mt. Gox, people are worried that, you know, these people are going to get back their Bitcoin from Mt. Gox, and then they're going to sell it and dump on the market. Well, this is a completely different scenario that we have here. This here is $12 billion going back to retail investors like you and I, right, in the first quarter of next year, but it's coming back to them in stable coin, okay? So it's not going to affect the price of Bitcoin or anything. There's nothing for them to sell off except stable coin. Some people might take their money and run, but for me, I think that the majority of that $12 billion is all going to start flowing into the market. People are going to start buying Bitcoin and crypto with that money, guys. Now, to follow up on that, we have an article to get into. So the FTX plan activation in 2025, key dates and compliance details. FTX Trading Ltd, commonly known as FTX.com, alongside its affiliate entities, collectively referred to as FTX debitors, have announced the enhancement of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy reorganization plan, set to take effect on January 3rd, next month. This plan outlines the initiation of the compensation under specific claims classifications, terms as the plan's convenience classes. The first compensations are scheduled within 60 days of the activation of the plan, contingent on the compliance with requisite know your customer and other regulatory prerequisites. So means everyone who did KYC in terms of people who lost money on FTX, they will all be credited back. If you want to get credited back, you have to do your KYC, essentially is what they're saying. John J. Ray III, CEO of the FTX debitors, highlighted the diligent efforts over the past 2 years by their professional team to amass substantial recoveries, culminating in this milestone. As we've discussed on ETH News, Ray stressed the importance of stakeholders completing necessary protocols to receive their distribution efficiently. For the distribution process, FTX has secured collaborations with BitGo and Kraken to manage the logistical aspects of transferring funds to both the retail and institutional clients within approved jurisdictions. BitGo brings its expertise as a comprehensive, globally regulated custodian, while Kraken extends its robust trading and financial services platform accessible globally. Participants must undertake several proprietary steps to qualify for the initial distribution, including verification through the FTX debitors customer portal, completion of the KYC, which is know your customer process, and the submission of relevant tax documents. Additionally, instructions for integrating with BitGo or Kraken will be provided through the portal to streamline the onboarding process. FTX has taken measures to caution its clients about the increased risk of phishing attacks following the reorganization announcement. Clients are advised to only interact through official verified channels and remain vigilant about the authenticity of communications received. So guys, listen, if you are one of the people who is owed money from FTX, you're one of those retail creditors, be aware of phishing scams. There's going to be a lot of scams that are going to start popping up, okay? And you have to be aware of that. Don't be clicking links. Don't be, opening emails and stuff like that if it's not from the official, the official links of what they're showing here, okay? There's going to be a lot of scams out there, guys. Be careful. FTX has taken measures to caution its clients about the detailed information about the reorganization of the subsequent distributions is available on Kroll's dedicated case management website, which provides continuous updates and access to court filings related to the proceedings. Lastly, as noted on ETH News, FTX Digital Markets is set to announce its tailored distribution framework for clients who opted to claim their claims to be managed separately by FTX, ensuring a comprehensive and structured approach to addressing all claims and distributions. So $12 billion coming back into the market, you guys, in the form of a stable coin. Are you ready for a pump unlike anything you've ever seen before? What do we got here? CEO of Strike says the worst thing we can do is not own enough Bitcoin.
Here, I think the unique positioning on the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, I think if this happens, this will be one of the most important economic announcements in U.S. history. I think it'd be on par with 1971 and Nixon. However, what I think is not being talked about enough is it's positive, Caroline. It's positive.
Because you'd have to go out there and buy in the market, but will that actually happen?
No, my meaning is this. In 1933, the U.S. had a really big economic announcement. What was it? We're taking all your gold. In 1971, the U.S. had a really big economic announcement. What was it? We're divorcing ourselves from the gold standard so we can print money. In 2008, the U.S. had a really big economic announcement. What was it? It was we're bailing out all the big banks that misbehaved. In 2025, if the U.S. has a really big economic announcement, what is it? It's we're pro-technology. We're pro-innovation. What principles and morals and ethical alignment does Bitcoin have? Equal rights, equal opportunity, an open network. These are American ideals, American values. This is an asset that was accessible to the people 15 years ago that the people own. Governments only own 2, 3, 4% of this asset. This asset is held by the people. It acts in the best interest of the public. It's pro-jobs. It's pro-energy. It's pro-industry. It's pro-growth. And does anyone else have a plan to get us out of debt? Are we going to start a lemonade stand out here in Times Square? No. How about the best performing asset in the history of mankind? We lean into it. We buy it. Coinbase is an American company. Strike's an American company. Kraken's an American company. Tether sells the US dollar. Let's support these businesses. Let's support this industry.
But the market cap is less than NVIDIA for the entire crypto ecosystem. When does that become bigger?
I think when people buy it, listen, I think that ego gets in the way of many people. People think they're late to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, right? I think that late according to who? Oh, because you're comparing yourself to Michael Saylor, you're comparing yourself to your college roommate, you're comparing yourself to your coworker. Over the last 15 years, the best thing you could have done is buy Bitcoin. And I think that's going to be true for the next 1,500 years. And so as a country, I think we have a choice. I think everyone else around the world is understanding we are pro-growth, pro-business, pro-Bitcoin as this new administration takes office. And we have to make a decision. I think the worst thing we can do is not own enough. And actually, to de-risk this, we should buy some and push these American ideals in technology and innovation and growth through the best performing asset and technology in mankind.
It's not wrong. He's not wrong. What else do we got, guys? We got some big news from HBAR. HBAR and Chainlink have officially partnered together. Chainlink's data feeds and Chainlink's proof of reserve are now live on the Hedera network. Very bullish. The good news keeps on pouring in for HBAR as well, guys. Absolutely amazing. What else do we have? We got another article here to get through. Bitcoin surges past $107,000 after proposal. On Monday, Bitcoin soared to a remarkable new high of over $107,000 following U.S. President Donald Trump's suggestion regarding a potential strategic reserve for the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. The leading digital currency worldwide achieved a price of $107,793, making a significant 3.64% increase, reflecting a robust interest from market participants. The announcement from MicroStrategy about its inclusion in the NASDAQ 100 index has amplified investor confidence in Bitcoin. The development is expected to draw more capital into the software firm, which has been a major buyer of Bitcoin. According to Van Eck, Bitcoin may escalate to $180,000 by year end of 2025, hinting at significant potential within the cryptocurrency sector. Furthermore, Russia is contemplating the establishment of its own strategic cryptocurrency reserves, as Vladimir Putin pointed out that numerous nations are seeking alternatives to traditional reserves amidst the weakening status of the US dollar. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has drawn parallels between Bitcoin and gold, while Chris Weston, head of research at Pepperstone, voiced doubts about the immediate establishment of a Bitcoin reserve. Meanwhile, Matthew Segal from Van Eck anticipates a possible 30% decline for Bitcoin after its peak, predicting steeper drops from alternative coins. The upward trajectory of Bitcoin is bolstered by perspectives, regulatory support, and strategic reserve discussions from Trump's administration. Experts are currently analyzing the potential long-term impacts of the cryptocurrency landscape. Bullish news, guys. All right, we got another video to get through here. Some good old Michael Saylor, guys. Some good old Michael Saylor. He tells CNBC there is no limit to how much Bitcoin MicroStrategy will buy.
How about crypto? Look at Bitcoin hitting an all-time high on continued enthusiasm over the new administration, policies. Here's what President-elect Trump told our Jim Cramer during his visit right here to the New York Stock Exchange just last week about crypto.
You're embracing crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head.
One big beneficiary of the Bitcoin rally has been MicroStrategy. The stock up more than 500% just this year. MicroStrategy will now be added to the NASDAQ 100 on December 23rd in its annual rebalancing. The company currently holds 439,000 Bitcoin after announcing another purchase just this morning. Joining us is MicroStrategy co-founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor. Well, you're the guest of the moment. So is there a limit to how much Bitcoin you're going to acquire?
No, I've said we'll just keep buying the top forever. Every day is a good day to buy Bitcoin. We look at it as cyber Manhattan. I would have bought Manhattan 100 years ago, 200 years ago, every year for the past 300 years. You pay a little bit more than the person that bought Manhattan before you, but it's always a good investment to invest in the economic capital of the free world.
Do you think that Trump is serious about creating this Bitcoin reserve, and how would that work?
I think he is. And, if you think about the Louisiana Purchase, California and Alaska, we paid $40 million to buy 75% of the United States. Nobody remembers the $40 million. But if you know where the money's going, you should buy the property, buy the future. And in this case, the Lummis plan calls for 1 million Bitcoin acquisition. That's worth $16 trillion to the country. RFK proposed 4 million Bitcoin that would be worth about $56 trillion. There's room for Trump to go beyond that, even $81 trillion in gains. And that's against $36 trillion in the U.S. national debt. So all the capital outside the U.S. and all of the antiquated 20th century capital is going to flow into digital assets. It's going to flow into the Bitcoin network. And the logical thing is for the U.S. to buy it now and own the future.
And just chase it up at any price?
I think just a progressive acquisition of it makes sense. Keep in mind, if you bought Manhattan from 1650 to 1700, a little bit every single year, it would have been a good acquisition. Right now, we can buy, the United States could literally buy 20-25% of the Bitcoin network, either by trading out its existing gold stores or just by borrowing a small trace amount of money. And so the Bitcoin network could go up by a factor of 100. You might as well buy it before it 100x's.
Your Manhattan analog is really interesting, Michael, because the reason it would have made sense to buy Manhattan is because they agreed it's going to be on a grid going north. And I wonder if you see similar policy analogs right now in crypto. Are we that organized?
You know, the world wants a digital assets framework, and the United States has a great opportunity to define a digital assets framework. We need to define the definitions of a digital commodity, a currency, a security, a token, an NFT, and an asset-backed token. And we need the rights and responsibilities of issuers and the exchanges and the owners. But that takes consensus from the executive branch, the House, the Senate, and the industry. And we didn't have that for the past 4 years. The opportunity for the U.S., it's to issue $10 trillion of digital currency and back the dollar. It's to capture $50 trillion of capital gain on the digital capital network. And I do believe with the digital assets framework that this administration could put forward, there's no reason why we won't see $500 trillion of assets tokenized over the next 21 years and 280 trillion in capital flow into the digital capital network that is Bitcoin.
And where does that lead Bitcoin's eventual price?
My 21-year forecast is for Bitcoin to appreciate about 29% a year, ARR, to $13 million a coin by the year 2045.
Nice.
I mean, your strategy is really interesting because you're really the first company to adopt Bitcoin as your primary treasury reserve asset. Isn't that risky? Where does the risk lie besides just in the price falling?
Well, 4 years ago, the accounting was toxic. It was indefinite and intangible, and it was unclear whether the SEC would embrace Bitcoin as a digital commodity, and it was unclear what the regulatory regime would be. That has been substantially de-risked in the year 2024. And so now you really have companies on the Bitcoin standard where they use a digital commodity like Bitcoin, which is 60 ARR, 60 vol, or companies on the US dollar standard, which is 0 vol, 0 ARR. MicroStrategy is the largest holder of digital assets in the world now. We've got $46 billion worth of Bitcoin, and we're leveraging that.
So what do you say to people who say, well, it's a Ponzi scheme because every time Bitcoin goes up, you issue more equity and debt to buy more Bitcoin. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, just like developers in Manhattan, every time Manhattan real estate goes up in value, they issue more debt to develop more real estate. That's why your buildings are so tall in New York City. It's been going on for 350 years. I would call it an economy.
Boom. For the full interview, guys, go over to my X page. All the videos that I share and all the stuff that I share with you guys here, I share it over on my X page. So you got to be, most of you guys aren't even following me on X, guys. Go follow me over on X. Let's get back into the chat. All right, let's see what's going on. Rich, thank you, Wes Robbie. No problem, man. No problem. Bruno, thank you so much. This is the last bull run. After this run, we will see a steady streamline up to 1 million plus. I disagree. Minimum 300K BTC this bull run. I disagree. There will be no bear market after. I disagree. Onyx, Swift, Jasmy will only rise. That would be nice. Sell for 10 cents. Even if your bullish targets are conservative, just hold and keep buying more every year. I disagree. 4-year cycle has never been proven wrong, and until it is, I will stick to that. Wasn't Coinbase just awarded a whole bunch of Bitcoin? I'm not too sure. I didn't hear anything about that. Sam says, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, guys. XCN to the moon, absolutely. Sam, I got a little bored, so I opened a small position in Turbo. Now that it's on Coinbase, I'm wondering how high people think it can run. I could see Turbo 10xing. I could see Turbo at 10 cents. Trump, absolutely, man. Sheesh, that's a big number. Absolutely, man. At 21 million tokens, Bitcoin will be an asset that never stops growing. I agree with that. Imagine someone put 10K on Bitcoin and they only get 301 of Bitcoin because the price that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Volks, can we get an about do I say about wrong or what? About Ah, shit. All right, guys, that's the news. That's the chat. We're all caught up on everything. Make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe to the channel. I will be live over on the Patreon in about 20-25 minutes, guys. So if you want to join our live group video calls, get over there and join us. It's going to be a fantastic time. We always have some good deep dive conversations. So get over to the Patreon. The link's in the chat. We will also help you create your exit strategy, your profit-taking plan. Do not miss out on getting that together, guys. Join the Patreon. Link is down below. It's in the description. It's in the pinned comments. I will see you guys live over on the Patreon in about 20-25 minutes. Peace.